Hello, what's up, everyone? If you're checking out the replay, thanks for checking it out. If you're on watching right now, definitely say what's up. Let me know that you're on, and we'll get started in a few minutes. So today we are talking about Etsy. We were supposed to have this originally a few weeks ago, and I had to cancel, but I'm glad we were able to get back on board and talk some Etsy and answer questions and kind of have a little bit of conversation around everything. And this comes about a week after they've made some announcements on ads that they're changing up. So just wait for people to come on. Definitely say what's up once you're on. And we'll get things going shortly. We get our banners going on there. There we go. Cool. All right. So see, we have a couple people watching. Let me go over to the comments in case anyone is saying anything. All right. Don't be shy. Say what's up if you are watching. All right. Annette is on. What's up? I know she's jazzed up about Etsy and a lot of other things, kind of like I am right now. And it's it's always a challenge finding that focus and time to do everything. So it's fun, but it's definitely hard to find that time. Etsy is certainly one of those that is a little bit of a time suck. If you can, if you kind of get very deep into the weeds of it and all that, it's a very rich platform with features. Susan is on. She's newer to Business Insiders. What's up, Susan? And she definitely comes with a lot of different experiences as well, like a lot of us in here who just kind of love business and love doing different things. All right, so we'll get started in another few seconds. Just in case I don't know where certain people are from, while we're waiting, just go ahead and comment to where you're watching from, where you're from. I am in New York, as many of you know, kind of, I don't want to say totally upstate, but north of White Plains in the Hudson Valley area. So just kind of wondering where you guys are joining us from. And then we'll get started in another few seconds here. If people join late, they can just watch the replay anyhow, so that's fine. Northern California, not a bad place to be. Susan is in Missouri. And we have Northern California, and that is there. Awesome. Awesome. Northern California, very, very gorgeous place, of course. One of my favorite places was certainly visiting San Francisco when I was in the Navy still, and we would go out there for Fleet Week and all that. I'm assuming the people there didn't like us too much, causing a ruckus, but it was a lot of fun. It's a great city. All right, so going to get started here, and then again, people can kind of pick up, with the replay and whatnot, unless they're just checking it out afterwards. So when it comes to Etsy, first of all, like a lot of the other platforms, they do have the predictive search. So in fact, if I leave it blank, it even tells me what's popular right now, which is pretty nice, because if I really don't know where to start, so for instance, here's an idea, Pi Day. So in case I didn't realize Pi Day is coming up, they're already giving me that idea saying Pi Day is popular right now. People are, searching for it and everything like that. Zodiac decor, all these different things. Easter, so you can start to see Easter. Granted, it's a basket, but that tells me that Easter is on the horizon, which obviously we know it is, which means that's something there. Initial gift, that's something we can do with print on demand if that's what you're doing. If you're doing handmade things, you can certainly do something with that as well. So that's the first area that I want to draw our attention to and be able to utilize what they're giving us, the search features. All right, so the next thing that I want us to utilize, all right, so what I just did a unicorn shirt, very popular, of course. The other thing I want us to utilize is, the stats it does tells us 33,000 results. Now, you also have to be in the mind of a Etsy seller. If someone is not too sure what they want, they will filter down at this side. So Etsy themselves has said that it's very important to fill out the attributes. So when you do a new listing, it's very important that if I was doing any of these unicorn shirts, and let's say I'm doing a black one as my primary, that you do that. Because if I am a shopper and I'm coming on and I want only a black one, I don't care about the beige, I don't care about the white, I just specifically want a black shirt. If I click that, and yours doesn't have that in the attributes, you might not be seen now. Maybe you will through ads, but you might not be seen because you don't have that filled in. So it's important to do that and fill in whatever applies the most when you're doing your listing. Just like somebody can also filter down free shipping. So you guys can, talk a little bit about free shipping if you want, but for me, I have transitioned to doing free shipping on my listings. I just build it into the price. It makes sense for me from a business standpoint. It's sort of like Amazon. They build everything into their price, which is why they offer free Prime. Well, actually, in their case, they charge us for it anyway to have Prime, but that's how they can do that. They're building it into their price of Prime and everything else. So for me, it makes sense. Because if I'm a customer and I come here and I said, okay, now I want black unicorn shirts, but I want them to be just free shipping. So that's a big deal. If you don't offer free shipping, you're not going to be on there. Now, here's another little tidbit. It doesn't have to be totally free shipping. If you buy into Etsy's suggested free shipping, which is any order over $35 gets free shipping. I believe that's what it is currently still. You also would fall into that category where if somebody clicks this button, you're still going to be under free shipping. So that's very important. Couple of other things to notice here as well is on sale. Now, in your Etsy shop, we'll get to that in a second, but in your Etsy shop, it's important to, again, build it in the price and run sales in your Etsy shop. Again, if somebody is trying to look for things on sale, and we all do it, how many, physical stores do we go to and we look for what's on sale, or we look at the clearance rack and things like that, especially if you're at a more expensive store, which Etsy is more boutique feel. So if somebody clicks this on sale, you may not be on, filtered if you don't have any products on sale. So you can see the crossed off features there. They did that right in their shop, doing the coupon feature, running a sale for all their products. So I do recommend doing that as well. Now, when it comes to sales, and we can talk a little bit more when we get into the actually how to do it, but here's another good practice for sales. You want to run them often and short. All right. So there's a couple reasons for that. In other words, don't run a sale and do it for like the whole month. That's not going to work. So let's see this one. Not a good example. Let me go back. Actually, you guys probably can't see that because it's opening in a different tab for me, but all right. I guess I will show it to you guys afterwards, but there are certain, not certain, but in the listing itself, let's say I run a sale for just 3 days or 2 days starting today. Right below your listing, it's going to actually say, hurry, this listing expires in 48 hours, 24 hours. So it's building that scarcity for me, which is a no-brainer. So don't do long-term sales. Do them for 3 days at a time, 2 days, 4 days. So this way, when people are shopping, Etsy is going to build that scarcity in there for you. Let me move these. I'm going to get rid of the banner actually, just in case it's going to cover something as we're doing this. All right, there we go. So make sure that you build in that scarcity by doing some, sales often, but not very long. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, people can filter down with all these different things. So make sure if your product fits any of that, that, you're still going to be able to be seen. Okay. So this is kind of what I initially wanted to go over is the front-facing part here to Etsy. Any questions so far in the search as far as what it gives us? If so, let me know. Okay, so that opened in a new tab. I'm going to have to adjust that and go to that new tab then. All right. Just bear with me. Let me just change this out. Any questions, go ahead and let me know about that while I change this over. All right, let me share the screen. And let's go to this listing. All right, perfect. So everyone should be seeing right now the Chubby Unicorn listing. And right now on this one, let's see if this one doesn't have it. All right, but again, they built in some scarcity. They're showing me that 5 people have it in their cart, which is nice. They're showing me the little logo that it ships free. So all these are little nice trust buttons that Etsy is giving us. We just have to utilize it. So that's the next thing I'm going to go over is anatomy of a good listing. And this is a good example overall of a good listing. So I'm going to go over some of the things here. All right. So everyone with me? No questions yet? All right, cool. So Susan is there. So yeah, so that's kind of using the front end of Etsy. And I use that a lot for research. I really do. I basically go in there, utilize that predictive search, see what's hot, start to type things in, see where it leads me, kind of go down that rabbit hole. And then also when I start to find listings, I'll get different ideas of what's out there. So you can get a lot of ideas right through Etsy. And then it also tells me, or it's a good reminder for me to put in all those attributes where, wherever it fits. So this listing, couple of things. First of all, again, they got the sale going on. All right, so it's originally $24 on sale, 30% off. Again, if you're shopping online, it's pretty nice to have that built in. And then you can see where it says sale ends in 4 hours. So in this case, huge scarcity. So they probably ran this for only a day or 2 days. And then now it's the end of this sale. So if I'm shopping right now and I like this shirt, I mean, it's telling me right now that, hey, 5 people have this in their cart. It can ship free. It's on sale. And oh, by the way, you only have 4 hours left on the sale. So talk about giving me all kinds of tools and avenues and ways to sell this one product. They're giving me all those, buttons on that listing to have somebody just kind of freak out and say, I have to buy this. I'm going to buy it. I don't want the sale to run out. I don't want these people in the cart to get it before me. And then there's no more, nothing like that. So it's just a regular shirt. I get to pick the size and the quantity. Now, here's another thing. In the POD world, you might see some shops, maybe I'll pull up an example afterwards, where they have tons of options for the shirt. So the first option, normally they'll put down style there or type of shirt or anything like that. And they'll have like a unisex tee, a men's tee, a woman's tank top, hoodie, baseball tee. I personally am not a fan of doing that. It's way too many decisions. The whole point for me to want someone to hurry up and get on here and see these, scarcity buttons, if you will, is for them to make a decision. I don't want them to be paralyzed by having so many shirt options. Again, just my opinion. Now, with that being said, I do have a shop that has nothing but t-shirts, another one that's nothing but mugs. So that way there's not tons of options, although the mug one does have a few different styles of mugs, but it's still just mugs. And then the third one, that one does have a few options, but it's not paralyzing type options. It's only a unisex shirt and a hoodie. That's it. So if you want a t-shirt, you're getting a regular shirt. If you want a hoodie, you can get a hoodie. So that's kind of what I do. I just don't like to paralyze them with a lot of choices. That's just me. You can do it any which way you want. I know some people load up on the style or type, but when I looked at my stats, the majority of shirts that sold for me was regular t-shirts. So if that's the case, why am I going to go nuts putting all these different styles if they're not selling? The other good thing about this image that you want to be doing, or this listing, is a nice front image. Now, the nice thing about it is if you notice, it's a white background. You definitely want to do a lighter background. Etsy has really, came down on that a lot. They like to promote things in their algorithm that kind of blends with their overall feel of their website. And if you notice, their background is white. So therefore, this blends pretty good. It's a pretty good match. So I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. And also from a consumer standpoint, many of you guys know this, being in web design and everything like that, the minimalistic kind of white background, very plain. I don't want to say plain, but I guess like white on white is just, it's very, very hip right now, I guess, or trending. Whereas years ago, you would have these black backgrounds or picture backgrounds. That's not the case anymore. People like clean, that they can scroll through and it just looks like this as if it's part of the website. So when you can, have a nice mock-up, but have it to, nice clean background. Now with the mock-ups, also don't have too many different things going on. This is probably the max I would have. I've seen some mock-ups that have these flowers here, they'll have shoes, and they have something else up here. Don't do too many. I mean, this listing, to be honest, probably would have been fine with just either the shoes or the flowers, just one or the other, in my opinion. It's still a good mock-up, but I probably would have done just one or the other, because then it starts to kind of overtake what you're supposed to be looking at, which is the shirt. So again, less is better. Just don't go too nuts with it. There's a question. Let's see. Isn't it that too many options can lead to indecision, no sale? Yeah, exactly. So too many options with any of this, even the colors. Wow, there's a lot of colors here. Didn't notice that. Wow. Yeah. So this is one example of it. So maybe I'm not sure what I want because there's so many options here. And it could be worse. They could have a lot of options here, but at least they kept many options only on one spot. So the mock-up image is good. And then this is also a very good image. It shows if you are going to have different colors, a nice mock-up like this showing the different colors available are also nice. And again, way too many color options, in my opinion, way too many. But again, the shop does well. They have good design. They're selling, obviously, but it maybe could be even selling more without having tons of options. You also do want to always include the size chart for your shirts. It can minimize returns and bad reviews and things like that. So you can always get that. And by the way, these mock-ups and this here, if you're not a designer, kind of like me, and you just want quick way of getting this done, you can go right on Etsy and you can buy these pre-made and done. And then sometimes you can even message them if they have a customized feature on there about getting it customized to your colors. Obviously, this one is customized to their colors, which is what they've done. You can also go on places like Fiverr, Upwork, get somebody to do a nice, clever, mock-up, as well as these types of images, including this one, things like that. So I do recommend doing that. And then what I normally do for this last image is I do something similar, kind of like a little quick commercial for myself. But then I'll also have like my links to, the handles to social media. So that way I can hopefully get some people to follow me onto social media as well. Shirley said she's trying to watch, but for some reason video isn't loading. Okay, so for everybody else, are you guys able to, I'm assuming you can see and hear me, everything is fine? Okay, so Shirley, I'm not sure why, if you're on YouTube, you should be able to be watching. Maybe try refreshing your page, go into the link again. But the fact that you commented on it tells me that it should be good to go. All right, so with this last one, yeah, I do some branding there. I'll put like handle to my social media links, website, things like that on the last one. All right, now the reviews, obviously there's no other way, but you need to get reviews for your products, which is the only caveat there. You got to sell. So it's like a catch-22. You got to sell to get reviews. What they do is they separate them now. For this item, you can see reviews, and then total for the shop. You can also see them. And then you also want, if you have any little rules about your shop, you want to make sure you put it in the description. Now, Etsy does allow you to bulk edit. We'll get into that after. Speaking bulk edit your descriptions and all that, which makes it easy if you wanted to put this on all your listings pretty easily. But I like how this person here, I do something pretty similar where they're basically saying, look, if you need to buy a certain date, message me first. If you need something, whatever, let me know. So they're giving some guidelines here because that way, in case things go wrong, they can reference their description and say, look, I told you to check the processing times, make sure the shipping address is correct. Let me know if you need it much sooner than what you do, things like that. So I do like that. And then obviously you want to explain the product a little bit as well. So you definitely want to do all that. So it's a very nice description as well. Also talks about the washing of it, disclaimer. It's very, very good description on this shirt here. So no matter what you're selling, whether it's shirts, mugs, handmade things, doesn't matter. Definitely make sure you have good descriptions like that are fully explaining your product. It's going to save a lot of time and aggravation. In the beginning, I was worried about being very specific, but like handling times, shipping, and things like that, because I didn't want to get people to not purchase. But don't do that. Just be honest right off the get-go. People will purchase way more. All right, so that was the front end of Etsy, and then we're kind of going backwards. The front end of Etsy, then this kind of the anatomy of a good listing. But again, if your listing is fully done like this with some images and some branding, you have not too many options there. You have a very good description. You're doing a sale pretty often, so you can get this built-in scarcity. Then you're doing well. You're going to get some good organic sales that way. So any questions before we move on to the dashboard, to the back end? If so, let me know, and then we'll move on. And everybody said you can go ahead, you can watch now. Maybe the video froze or something, I don't know, but should be good now. But any questions, let me know, and then if not, we will move on. All right, so I'm going to assume we can move on, so I'm going to go ahead and change. Yeah, so Susan said Etsy buyers like description. Let me put that on the screen. Yeah, so true. You definitely have to put a lot of details on there. And people really like that because they want to know what they're buying. Nobody wants to buy something if they're kind of unsure of what they're getting. They might not take the time to message you, and then they're just not going to buy. And you don't want that, obviously. So let's get into. Actually, let's go back to the unicorn shirt because I can just click on dashboard. I don't know why I didn't think about that. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, so basically those are kind of my tidbits as far as the front end of Etsy and utilizing it, as well as an actual listing. All right, so this is a demo account. This is an account that I just had for only literally 3 to 4 weeks, myself and Scott. Some of you know Scott Griffin. We were going to work on this together, so that's why you see no stats here. Full disclosure, I actually do sell more than this. In the last week, I have 3 shops currently. Like I said, one of them is a niche shop of mainly the one that has shirts and hoodies. I have another one that's just t-shirts, and that's kind of like where I put my general shop, trending shirts, a little bit of everything. And then I have the one that's just mugs. So between the 3 of them, just to give you guys an idea of where I'm at with it, like I said, Etsy is just part of what I do. But last year, between the 3 of them, I did maybe about 16 to 17,000 for the year or so. And then, this year so far, I'm off to a good start. By my numbers, it looks like I am looking to beat that. And tracking at least about 25,000 combined, which, hey, I'll take it for something that I'm doing very part-time, since I do 6-7 other things as well. But just so you guys know where I'm at with my my own Etsy shops. All right, so let's go with this here. So first of all, there's a whole lot to your shop, and what I tell everyone to do is in the settings, just go through all of this in your info and appearance. Make sure you do all this. Have a good logo, sync any social media accounts, have your shop announcement, but update it. You want to do all of this, your policies, your shop name. You want to make sure everything is filled in, your about. Go into your options, check out all your options, because the last thing you want is for something like this, custom order request to be enabled, but you don't want it, or you want, offer gift wrapping, but you don't offer gift wrapping. It's POD. So you want to make sure that's disabled. So I can't stress that enough. Go in there, do everything that you can. The gift message enabled, you can enable it if you're using something like Printful or a different program that allows for it. But if you're using a POD provider that does not allow for it, then make sure you put that disabled. If you're doing products yourself, like handmade at home, then obviously you can put that to on, because you'll be able to pack your packages yourself. So you want to do all of that. I'm not going to go through every single one. A lot of it is just preference. There's no right or wrong way as you go through those. All right. So let's jump into the marketing next. So marketing, and we're going to go into sales and coupons. So we had talked a little bit about this, where we said you should be running sales often, but not for a long period of time, because you want them to put those scarcity buttons in there. All right. So first of all, they give you some different options where you can do the abandoned cart. Now, in my experience, maybe you guys are different. I haven't seen a huge return on this, but nonetheless, it's better than having nothing whatsoever. You can manage the campaign and come up with your own thing, but you definitely want to make sure you set this up to have the abandoned cart, because you're basically offering a coupon to someone who added the product, they left it in their cart, they did not purchase it. So in my opinion, if I can offer somebody 10, 15, or 20% off for a product that they're leaving in their cart, that's certainly much better than not getting that sale. Because if it's in their cart and they're not buying, chances are they may never buy it. You know, we've all done that before. You leave something in your cart and then you get an email, typically within 6 to 12 hours, sometimes less, that'll say, oops, did you forget something? And that's kind of the same sort of email that they're getting. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. It's, you know, marketing that's there for you to use. If you're using Shopify, for instance, that's something you can set up through your email provider and all that good stuff. But here it's like literally a couple of clicks and you're golden. You get to choose, just like this, you know, what you want to do for coupon. And right here, I can deactivate it and put a new one and all that good stuff. So you definitely want to do that. And you can also do a coupon for recently favorites. So what I recommend people doing is kind of a ladder approach. If they recently favorited your item and they haven't purchased yet, do something like 10 to 15% off. And then after that, for the abandoned cart, in case they favorited it and added it to the cart, now you can hit them with a 15 to 20% off. Now you're getting them a little bit higher. So that way it's a little more irresistible. But don't start at the top. Just start lower and then go a little bit higher, in my opinion. All right. So now that we have that, again, if you have any questions as we go through these, let me know. And then what you want to do is, these are the other offers. We're going to do one right now. A new special offer. This is what I was talking about. You can run a sale for the whole shop. This is where you can set up the abandoned cart or recently favorited, or you can create a coupon that's specific to a person or a group of people, or maybe you want to post it in a Facebook group or to your personal profile, and or give it to people. So basically, it might be like, I don't know, you create a coupon called family, and you put it on Facebook saying, hey, for my shop, just enter coupon family and you'll get X% off. So it's pretty cool. It gives you a lot of control to create a coupon like that to drive some sales. Or if you want it for all of Etsy, for organically, then you would do run a sale. And then this is where you pick what kind of sale you want. Do you want to offer free shipping? If you already offer free shipping, then you don't need to worry about that. You can do a percentage off. So I can do 15%. I can pick where I want it to be. If I wanted to be only in the US, I can do that, or Canada or UK or Australia, depending where you are. Minimum order to qualify. So I can put like only when you buy one product, two products, three, or if the order total is $50 or more. So it's very robust in terms of the sale that I can run. I think of it just kind of like no different than a regular little boutique shop in some small town where they have deals, buy any three and get the third free, fourth free, or things like that. So you can do all of this. You can do your duration. And this is where, again, sales can run for up to 30 days, but I would never do 30 days. There's no scarcity in that. So if I was doing one today, maybe I would run it through Thursday or Friday or even Wednesday. So that way I can build in a few days. Now you don't want to overdo it, because if some of the customers come back, they'll kind of see those quick sales, but I don't worry too much about that, because I would imagine there's not thousands of people coming back to my shop every day to notice the sales. So, so you can do 3 to 4 day bursts at a time. And then after that, I probably would run one here on the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Then I would probably do another one on Wednesday until the weekend. So you can play around with whatever works for you, but I find that quick sales like that really helps the shop, and probably because I have that scarcity. You get to name the sale, the coupon, and then I would just hit continue, and it's live. You go ahead and select which shirts that you want to do it for, or products, excuse me, whatever it is that you're selling. So let's see. So it's going to start then, and let's just say it's going to be over tomorrow, and we're going to say family, like we said. We're going to hit continue, and then you can choose which listings that you want it to go to, and then I would just hit review and confirm, and I am good, which I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to unlist on sale. That's only a sample listing that I made, sample because of this training. So any questions there, let me know as far as the sales and coupons are concerned, but definitely do that if you're not already doing that. But that's my strategies around it. Social media, if you're not using like a social media platform, you can certainly use this. You can sales and promotions, that 15% off coupon. I can share that for 20% off. You can create a new one. Any new listings, you can click share, and it'll already take you through, basically a listing. Choose an image, so I can choose this one that I have there. I can add a quick caption. If you notice, they already have one for me, along with some hashtags. So this is a good way that if you're getting started, if maybe your strong suit is not social media, not Facebook, I do recommend doing these. You would basically just sync your Facebook page to here, and then you can go ahead and do that. So if I want to, I can just copy this. If I can't think of anything more clever, and I would just go ahead and write that out and do next. Connect to your Facebook page. Okay, we're not doing that right now, but that's all you would do. Connect it to your Facebook page, or you can even promote on Facebook to an ad. Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, so you have all these different options that you can do there. So definitely take advantage of that, and then you would just do post and continue. So far, I'm just going to take a quick second. How's everyone using the coupons and sales on their Etsy shop? You guys utilizing that a lot with those short sales? In terms of the Facebook or other social media posts, anyone utilizing those as well? Okay, so let's get rid of that. All right, and then advertising. So the advertising, again, if you have any advertising questions, let me know. But this is what you would do. You first, to start it off, you pick an amount per day that you want to do. Once you're in there, you can change your budget, change your advertised listings. So I'm going to select that one. It's the only active one. Or I can go ahead and turn off the ads. But once you start getting ads, I can see how they're performing here. It tells me how much I spend. So I want to make sure I look at this every day. And it lists them right here. So I can see that this one obviously has nothing so far. But once you get a good amount of ads, I'm sorry, not ads, but clicks and action on this listing, I'll be able to also see the search terms that people are using to find it. The other thing as well with the ads is you want to investigate this right here. So if this ad, let's say I run this and a week from now I have 300 ad views and I have 1 click, that tells me that there's something wrong with either the price or the image, right? So it has to be. That's the only reasons why people would not be clicking on it, even though Etsy is showing it to interested buyers. So that's going to tell me it's either the image that's not good, the mock-up, the front image, or the price. Maybe it's too high, maybe even too low, that they don't take it seriously. Now, with that being said, if it's the other way around, if it's, 50 ad views, but I have 10, 15 clicks, then I don't think I have an image or price problem. After that, if I don't have a lot of orders, so my click-through ratio is good, but now I don't have a lot of conversions, then that means that I have to look at some more things. Did I give them too many options? Are the rest of my images not so good? Am I not very clear in what the product is? There's a multitude of things, that I give them, again, too many options. Is the description not clear enough? So there's a lot of different things that could go wrong, but hopefully that makes sense. So basically the first one, if I get a lot of impressions but not enough clicks, there's something wrong with the front-facing issues, the price or the image. If I am getting a lot of clicks but the conversion rate is not good, then I have to look at the actual listing and start to see what can I change about it. And don't change everything at once, change one thing at a time. Try lowering the price a little bit. If that doesn't work, then try changing out your image, your secondary images. If that doesn't work, maybe look at your description. So you definitely want to utilize that with the testing. You don't want to do everything all at once, because then you don't know what it is that worked, that changed it. So let me catch up on a few questions here before we move on. Susan says, using coupons but not too many sales. So using coupons as in coupons or sales? Coupons like you're giving to people you know and posting places, or sales for all of Etsy to see? They're a little bit different. I do recommend doing the sales so you can get those scarcity buttons done for you. Let's see, just opened my shop. Let me put that one up there. Just opened my shop, 8 sales so far, much to add. So I haven't used sales yet. Okay, cool. So definitely getting some sales, however, already without the use of sales and all these little features. So that's pretty cool. But definitely utilize that and you'll start to see that go up even more. And then of course, along with ads too. And that also says, I've used advertising, but learned to pause on one item that I actually got 3 sales from ad, but overall cost of ad exceeds revenue. That's interesting. But just remember, Etsy, this is also something else everyone should know. Etsy does give us search terms and a lot of other information without running ads. So it's not like Amazon where you have to do ads in order to get that data. With Etsy, you don't. I showed you here in the ads where it shows search terms, but I could also go to my stats area and I can also see, that's not going to work because I don't have them active, but I can also see how I've been found, either A, from different platforms and different places, but I can also, so again, these products are not active, so it's not really going to help us. But normally, if there was enough info, this right here would say, I'm just going to click this one. This was a while ago. I don't think I'm going to have any information here. No. Well, maybe. No, but right here, it would appear right here in search terms. So you want to do that for your listings. Click them after going to stats, and then search terms would be right here. It's going to tell me, what people searched for, and it's going to tell me where it came from as well, the traffic. So you don't have to advertise to get, search terms and things like that. And let's see. So lots of views, but no clicks, bad pic or image. Yeah, exactly. So either a bad mock-up image. I don't want to say bad, but maybe it's not resonating with the people that are supposed to click that. Just kind of think if it's a shirt geared towards men, maybe the mock-up is a little too girly, so they're not clicking on it, or vice versa. So yeah, so either that or the price is off. Abandoned cart, favorited item. And I've run sales with good results. Okay, cool. So yeah, Susan has done some sales with good results and the abandoned cart. Yes, definitely want to utilize all these different options that they're giving us. All right, cool. So when it comes to marketing, what else on here? That's really it for there. I'm going to share the other tab because this is not here anymore. There used to be, if I clicked on settings, there was now it's not there. There was a shop engine settings so that I can opt out of the search engine ads, the thing that everyone is talking about. But it's not there right now. So I'm not sure why that is. All right, so let me change this to where we are going next. Next, let's talk about those ads. All right, so some of you have probably heard of the ads already. This is officially from Etsy right here. But basically, they're doing what they call their risk-free advertising. So if any of you sell on eBay, you already know that's how they do their promoted listings. Basically, you say, okay, I'm going to elevate this listing, and you guys can run with it and promote it. And if it sells, then I'm going to pay an extra. In their case, you dictate, which I like. You can say an extra 5, 10%, 15%. So that way, the higher you go, the better chance you have of selling the item, but it's going to cost you more. Etsy doesn't look like they have that option. It looks like it's just going to be a straight 15%. So this is the official on it that they're giving you. So yeah, so basically if you made more than $10,000 in your shop in the last 12 months, it's going to be only 12%, but you're required to participate in this, which I know a lot of people are not happy about. If you made less than $10,000, then in the last 12-month period, it's recommended, but you don't have to participate in it. And it's a 15%. So there's a couple ways of looking at this. If they get me a sale and they're going to take an additional 15%, but they're the ones that marketed it on Google, Facebook, Bing, and all these other places externally, I wouldn't have gotten that sale to begin with if they didn't do that. However, if my margins are not set up properly, taking that 15% hit along with the fees already to them, then that means that's going to cut away into the margins big time. So with this, I think it's worth testing out. Clearly, I have not tested it out yet. This is brand new, but it's worth testing out to maybe raise your prices, opt into it, and see how it might work for you, if you're getting increased sales. But my opinion on that is I also don't like off-site sales like that because it's disruptive marketing. So if they're running my product, whether it's a shirt, a mug, doesn't matter. If they're running an ad on Facebook and somebody just, either scrolls by it or clicks it but doesn't buy it, maybe because they're not, they're not part of Etsy, they don't like Etsy or something like that, and they don't buy it, then but then again, I don't get charged unless they buy it. But still, it's disruptive marketing. Whereas when I run ads on Etsy or even Amazon, for instance, you're doing it within their ecosystem. They already have their credit cards stored. People are ready to buy. Whereas on Facebook and these other platforms, I can't say the same. There's a lot of other noise out there, and then they don't buy my stuff. But again, that's probably why they're doing it to where it's only if they sell. So in other words, you don't have to pay for any clicks, whereas before they did charge you for clicks and you had to take their word for it. So again, if you guys have any questions on that, I have limited information other than what's on this article on what we know. Yeah, so basically this starts towards the end of the month, March 27th. So that's all we know about that for right now. In terms of that new policy, but that's basically what the uproar is about, is that they're going to do ads on other platforms. So they're getting very aggressive about, putting Etsy out everywhere, not just on their own platform. And they want to run those ads for us. All right. So another thing, any questions while I get up the next area we're going to go over? Any questions at all? Let me know. All right, so sorry, I'm just getting up our next thing that we're going to talk about, which I think you guys will like. I know some people have talked about it, especially people doing low content books and everything like that. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is, let me just switch this up again. Can't figure out how to switch that without stopping the share screen. Maybe one day I will actually get that. But in the meantime, you'll have to see me in between going to the next screen. Here we go. So the other thing to talk about is printables. So with printables, there's a couple of programs that you can use. I'm going to show you that in a second. Cordial is one of them. The other one is Template. And these are instant download products. So the nice thing about this, if you notice, the price tag is only $5.95. It's a very nice impulse buy. However, it's very automatic. You don't have to do anything for it for the most part. They just purchase it and it gets done right away. So when you do a lot of editable ones, you can do printables where it requires nothing else. Like they purchase and right away, as soon as they purchase, Etsy directs them to a download page so they can download that printable. So it might be a printable, I don't know, weekly to-do list. It might be a printable grocery list that goes on the fridge, or something like that. They just do it kind of like those mock-ups that I said you can purchase. So you can purchase those mock-ups and all that. The ones I've purchased on Etsy, I just click buy. It's an instant download. As soon as I'm done, it just forwards me right to the download page. I download it and it's done. It like literally takes a minute to do, and I get it right away. So that seller just made $3, $4, $5, $6 on me buying that mock-up, and they literally did nothing whatsoever, and it got fulfilled right away. They don't have to worry about shipping. They don't have to worry about fulfilling that product or anything like that. So that's why a lot of people like this type of program. Now, what Cordial can do is this right here, custom sign. So it's very simple graphic, of course, even I can do that. And it says edit the text yourself. So the way this works is there's a program that links with Etsy, and then some of these images even tell you what to do right here. So basically it's an online tool. It allows you to personalize the designs after purchasing. So basically it's kind of like, think like Canva, where you're kind of sharing a template with them, if you will. So basically someone goes ahead and purchases the design, right here by hitting buy now. Then afterwards they personalize it by getting a personalized link that takes them to where that design is for them to put in their name or put in the wedding date, whatever it is that they are customizing. And then they get to either print it, save it, whatever, and your work is done. You didn't have to do anything at that point, even though it was editable. Your other option is if you're using Canva or you're a graphic designer, you can have these like this where you can edit for their name and wedding dates and things like that. But the problem is it's going to turn into a bunch of work, because all the orders you get in, you'll have to take in their name, edit, and all that good stuff. That's kind of how I do for some personalized mugs that I do now, which it turns into a pain in the butt. So that's why I don't do too many personalized mugs, even though I know they sell well. So let's see. Let's put this on the screen. First shop is focusing on prints of the artwork, and then also products with the artwork. Is there any reason why or why not I should not also sell the prints as printables? I'm not sure I understand it fully, but no, there's no reason why you should not. So the first shop is focusing on prints of your artwork. So what kind of artwork? Like actual painting, like painting a canvas, doing graphic design, digital images? I'm not sure. And then products with the artwork. So kind of like POD, put it on different products like mugs and these signs and pillows and things like that. If that's the case, yes, you can definitely utilize it twice like that. All right, and then it says, and if so, should it be a separate shop? I think so. I probably would have one shop with nothing but kind of prints that people can, digital watercolors. Okay, so I would have one that is just digital watercolors. I'll put that one up. So digital watercolors that they can purchase, because that's going to be a little bit of a different audience than someone who's going to want to buy a couch pillow, throw pillow, mug, or stuff like that. Not that somebody wouldn't buy either one, but yeah, I probably would keep those separate. You can monetize both of them very well. And then in the shop, you can always link back and forth to them. In fact, you have to when you have multiple shops. Yeah, printables in the same shop, and all that. Printables in the same shop would be competing. No, I think if it fits, if it's along the same lines of the same thing, I think you're fine. So having those printables in there, those prints, artwork and all that, that's fine. And then have your other shop where you're putting some of those prints on the on actual POD products. As a caveat to that, one thing that I would do in the description of the printable one is I would either put a link to the other one, like, hey, if you want to see this or purchase this on products, make sure to check out, such and such shop, because you might be leaving money on the table if somebody does come across that watercolor print and they do want that on something, but they don't know that's an option. So that kind of goes both ways. So I would have mentioned in the about section as well as the listings that there is an option for them to get these prints on products. Shop 1, okay, let's see. So shop 1, prints and printables. Shop 2, POD of artwork. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. And like I said, make sure you link to each other. You have to anyway, but definitely do it in a nice salesy kind of way. promotional kind of way where, even the POD side, hey, if you want, you can also get this printable, have full rights to it, use it how you want. Check out our printable shop, where these images were born, where they were made by me. And then same thing with a printable. Hey, did you know you can get this on coffee mugs or shirts or whatever it is you're doing your POD or pillows, check it out here. So definitely link back and forth. That way you can utilize each shop fully. So definitely. Exactly. If they like it on the wall, why not grab a pillow to go as well? And the pillow mock-ups look so good, by the way. I was thinking the other day about doing nothing but a throw pillow or, pillow store. I just don't know how popular they are. I haven't done any research on it, but they look phenomenal. I like the mock-ups of most POD providers for those. All right. So, yeah, so Cordial, I'm going to go into in a second here, unless there's any other questions on the printables. But basically, the gist of it is when you list a product on Etsy, you would just click on digital download instead of physical products, and it would activate all that for you. You don't have to any other software needed or nothing like that, unless if you're doing like what Annette was mentioning, if you're going to do digital art or any other painting or anything like that that's not going to involve custom, then you don't need this program that I'm about to show you, Cordial. You would just do it, and the person buys it and it is what it is. There is no customization to it, which is fine, and that sells a lot. But what also does sell a lot on Etsy, remember, a lot of people go to Etsy for customization because they want an 8th wedding anniversary because everyone else has 10th and 5th, and they not enough 7, 8, or 9. So that's why they go to Etsy, because they want custom things to them. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to Cordial. I'm going to remove this. And again, I'm not, full disclosure, I have not used Cordial a whole lot. I did a trial and I kind of messed around with it. This is going back about a month or two ago. And so I'm not an affiliate for it or anything like that. I'm not, saying you should use it or promote them. I'm just trying to, bring it to your attention that it's a good program to use. I've heard a lot of good things about it for people who do printables. So this, I'll start off with the pricing. It's very, very inexpensive. And I also want you to know that the way it works is that you do pay a monthly fee to have it. And then per transaction as well, because remember, this is very hands-off. However, it's going to be automatically done for you, even all the customization. So if I did a design that said, such and such, you're invited to such and such wedding, like an invitation, and there's the spot to put the date, the time, the town, or address, then I don't even have to do all that. They're going to do it on their own, because they're going to get that link to come here to Cordial to do it. And then they can print it themselves or save or whatever. All right, so with that being said, let's go over here. So it is pretty neat, because it'll integrate just like POD when Printful integrates with your shop. You don't have to do anything when it's integrated correctly. Same thing with this. When it's integrated. All right, now I'm having a hard time. Okay. So basically, you can see here, create a personalized self thing. Let's see. We got a video here that you can check out, but I'll drop the link below. You can go check out their site. Let's see. So, all right, let me catch up on a couple of questions here. So, Susan, so with Cordial, yeah, we already answered that. And Susan, so customized printables sell well. Would love to automate them. So, Susan, you currently do printables, but they're just not customized, or you have to end up manually doing a lot of customization? Yeah, just let me know. I'm kind of wondering that. And then Annette said, hands off scares me. People are stupid. Yeah, sometimes people are stupid with that. I think that's why in your listing you gotta have full disclosure of everything, because it's a digital download. A common one that people do on there for digital things is there are no refunds, since this is a digital download, and you will have access to the product immediately. That's pretty common, and that's a battle that you always will win with Etsy, because they are they know that it's a digital download. They had access to it right away, so they've already been able to consume the product. So anybody can say, 2 hours later, oh no, it messed up or it's not what I wanted. It's too late. It's a digital download. So at that point, you've already utilized that print. You could have printed out your wedding invitations, 200 of them, off of my template, and then you want a refund? Like, no, that's not going to work for me. So make sure you put that in your description. There's a digital product, which means you have access to it immediately. So there are no refunds. So any questions on the product, first contact me before purchasing, that sort of thing. So Susan, so manual customization. Yeah, exactly. So this product would help you to do that. So if I get into doing printables, I certainly would use this product. It'd be worth every dollar for that $9.99 a month. And again, you got the trial to check it out and all that, which I might do again. But there's just so many different ways that you can utilize this. I'm playing the video here. Yeah, it looks like it's a whole lot of cartoons. But yeah, you guys can definitely check that out. But it's very popular on Etsy, and it's even popular amongst some of the buyers too. So yeah, it's very, very big. You can see if they haven't downloaded it, then I've refunded the order. Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, you do want repeat buyers and things like that. So if they have not downloaded it, then and it's not what they want, and you want to refund them, that's fine. But once they've downloaded it, then at that point it's like, hey, it's a digital product. You already have access to it. So no, there's no refunds. So yeah, so if you're doing a lot of manual customization, sounds like this can definitely help you with that. And again, I have no affiliation to it whatsoever. I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying this is simply an option and a tool. There's another one as well called Template. That one, I'll drop the link as well. And again, I have not, I'm not promoting this one as well, but it's an option. But this one seems more expensive and looks a little more basic, especially judging by their website. So I don't know. It could be better, but I don't know that for sure. So that's the other one that is popular for people doing these editable templates. But Cordial definitely does look like the better option. Pricing wise, I like that they have those 3 steps. I can start at $9 and then go up from there. And then once I'm doing a lot of volume, I can go to that $50 a month one because the transaction fees are then, gone. So yeah, it's very, very good kind of escalation there of growing with me. So let's go back over here. So yeah, so just to put that back over here. So any other questions, let me know. I think in the future we can probably, if I dive into printables or somebody else in the community here does and wants to do, more training on it and is more of an expert at it than I am using Cordial, definitely we can do training in the future with it and talk more about it. But I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it because, like I said, quite frankly, I'm not using it. But you can see right here, the plan can kind of grow with you. And all that, but each of them have unlimited transactions. This one just has that higher fee per transaction. This one, it goes down because of the $19.99. So there'll be at some point that this middle one will make more sense because of the 20 cents per transaction that you're saving. I'd have to figure that out mathematically. Same thing with that one. But in the beginning, I would imagine that $9.99 is going to fit you just fine for a while. All right, cool. So Susan's going to check them out. And let's see what else there is. So sellers, and also they have all kinds of information here. So this is the other thing that I noticed. They have all kinds of tutorials. They have a seller support area. So there's so many different things here. So it looks like a very neat product, to be honest. Even when I did the trial at first, it was a little overwhelming. I wasn't sure what I was doing, but it's similar setup to like Canva and all that. It looks pretty good. And I'm sure there's YouTube tutorials and things like that, but certainly worth looking at for anyone who wants to automate an Etsy shop and while still making it personalized. Because again, personalization is big on Etsy, but in the POD space, if you start to do a lot of personalization with Etsy, then you have to do a lot of it manually. But in this case, this gives me a way to have a lot of personalization but to still automate it, which is nice. I like that part of it. So that part of it does interest me to potentially look at that as a potential Etsy shop for myself, although I already have enough Etsy shops. So any other questions before we sign off here? We've been on about an hour. I don't want to go too long, but any other questions that maybe I did miss about Etsy or anything like that? And while I'm waiting for questions, one thing that I will say, I missed this when I was talking about the anatomy of a listing, which is actually pretty important, but make sure that your title is, built for a human. It can read, but don't forget about the computer. Make sure it's also built for the computer. So you do want some keywords stuffed in there. And when I say stuffed, I say that in a good way. Make sure there's some keywords in there. So that way, because the title carries the most weight. Then you also want to make sure that in your tags, which Etsy actually shows you the tags, which is another part I left out for research. It's also easy to do this way. But in your tags, make sure that some of the tags repeat that's in the title. All right, so that tells Etsy that it's important. So if editable is in the title, then it might be a good idea to also have it here in your tags as well. So you can see it right here with editable design. So just a couple little tips there when it comes to SEO. So make sure your tags, you utilize all 13. Make sure you utilize what it is that people are looking for. You can look at similar listings to see what they're doing. Again, I'm not saying to copy them, but just to get some ideas of some keywords that they're using. And then again, make sure your title reads very well for both computers as well as humans. All right. Let's see. So word of warning, designing a template that works well with customization is a bit of a challenge. I'm not sure what you mean by that, though, because that's what the point of this program is Cordial. You create something that has the whole thing is not editable. You can control which part of it is editable, from what I understand. So then that makes it a lot easier. So for example, that wedding invitation that I gave, maybe I only want the wedding date and the location to be editable. Everything else is not. So just as an example. So I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It's not the whole thing that's editable. And okay, so cool. So any other questions, let me know. So lots of clicks, no sales. Check secondary image description. Let's see, what do we mean by that? Lots of clicks and no sales. Yeah, exactly. So if you're getting lots of clicks, then that tells me your mock-up image is good. Your price point is probably good since people are clicking through to check out more, but perhaps you're giving them too many options. Maybe it's not clear on what the product is. The secondary images are not good. The description is not clear enough. So there's a multitude of things once you get to the actual product page at that point, which is tough because I can't give any one answer as to what I think it is. But the other problem, though, that we can give, because there's only two things shown to the customer initially on the search results, it's either the price or that main mock-up image. So if you're getting a lot of, well, I'll take that back. If you're not getting enough clicks, then that tells me it's either an image or price problem. But if you are getting clicks, then yes, and that it's hard to tell because it's going to mean the product page might need some work. Okay, so I see what you're saying that leaving room for like a long name and short name. Yeah, again, I'd have to play with Cordial to see how we can combat that. But again, it's a very popular tool, so I'm sure there are ways, and the product itself accounts for things like that and whatnot. But yeah, definitely very important to note. That's something that I didn't think about that as well, to make sure that your spacing ends up fine, because if not, if they customize and their name is like, I don't know, 20 letters long and you did a sample one like Smith, then that it's going to look a little bit different. So yeah, I definitely get that, Susan. Thanks for sharing that. All right, cool. So yeah, so to be honest, I'm excited about it too. And I wasn't even totally excited talking about Cordial or printables because again, I'm not doing it. I'm very transparent with you guys. If it's something that I'm not doing, I'll be the first to say, look, I'm not an expert at this. We'll get someone who is. But in this case, this is something that I think I am going to dive into a little bit to kind of test out and see how to use it and see how it works for me. So yeah, it's totally pretty cool. And I like that it integrates and it can be pretty much autopilot. And the other way is you don't have to do tons of customized stuff too. You can just make some editables, which you can do with Canva anyway, but Cordial already has a lot of templates too for it. And it's going to automate, whereas Canva will not. So yeah, so definitely worth checking out the world of printables on Etsy. All right. So any other questions, definitely go ahead and ask it in the group. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And thanks for everyone for checking it out. And if you're checking it out in the replay and you have questions, post it in the group as well, in the Insiders group. That's about all. Talk to you all soon.